All right, let's talk about the unspoken rules of the workplace. The stuff that shapes how people see you before you've even had a chance to say hello. We're breaking down the complete blueprint to your professional image, from grooming to etiquette. Let's jump right in.
So, I want you to really think about this for a second. Before you give your name, before you share that killer idea you have, your presence in a room has already started telling a story. The big question is, what story is it telling about you? That's exactly what we're going to unpack. And it all starts right here with that first impression. People make up their minds about you in just a few seconds. And the wild part? Those initial judgments, they tend to stick around for a long, long time. They're fast, they're powerful, and they have serious staying power. Seriously, think of it like tipping over the first domino. That initial impression doesn't just happen and then poof, it's gone. No way. It sets off a chain reaction, influencing how people interpret everything you do and say from that moment on. It's what decides if they see you as credible and trustworthy right out of the gate.
So, what's this mental image actually made of? Well, it's pretty simple. It boils down to two fundamental things: what people see, which is your appearance, and what they experience, which is your manners. These are the two pillars that your entire professional image is built on. Okay, so let's dig into that first pillar, grooming. I want you to think of this as your visual strategy. This has nothing to do with being fashionable or following the latest trends. It's about consciously and carefully presenting yourself. And the best part? It's something you have 100% control over every single day. The keywords here are conscious practice and appropriate. See, this isn't something that just happens by accident. It's a deliberate choice. It's about showing respect for your colleagues, for the work you do, and honestly for yourself. It sends a very clear message. I take this seriously and I'm ready to go. So, what does this actually mean in the real world? Well, it breaks down into these four key areas. Is your clothing professional and appropriate for your workplace? Is your personal hygiene well on point? Are you paying attention to the little things, like shine shoes or a neat hairstyle? All those details add up to create that final overall sense of polish. And this right here is a really important distinction to make. Fashion is all about you. It's your personal style, your self-expression. Professional grooming, on the other hand, is about the message you're sending to other people. One is about your personality, the other is a strategic choice to communicate competence and reliability. All right, so you've nailed the visual first impression. People see you and think, okay, this person looks sharp. But then what happens? Well, they start paying attention to how you act. And that brings us right to our second pillar, etiquette, the unwritten rules of professional behavior. Maybe the best way to think about etiquette is that it's like the operating system for the workplace. It's all the invisible code running in the background that lets a group of very different people work together smoothly and respectfully. It's what makes a team actually function. And this code is running literally everywhere. Are you showing up on time? How are you wording that email? Are you cleaning up after yourself in the kitchen? How do you behave in a meeting? And maybe most importantly these days, how do you conduct yourself online? Every one of these things is a signal about your professional character. I love this quote because it just cuts through all the noise. See, etiquette isn't about memorizing which fork to use at a fancy dinner. At its heart, it's just about empathy. It's about being aware of the people around you and how your actions impact them. Simple as that.
So, we've laid down our two big pillars, grooming on one side, etiquette on the other. Now it's time to put the capstone on top and see how they come together to create your total professional image.
It honestly boils down to this super simple but really powerful equation: what people see plus how you act. When your appearance, your grooming is in sync with your actions, your etiquette, you are sending a clear, consistent, and powerful message that you are competent and reliable. So here it is, your blueprint for building that image. It's a four-step process. First, you have to acknowledge the power of that initial interaction. Second, you master your visual presentation through grooming. Third, you practice the code of professional etiquette. And fourth, and this is the one that ties it all together, you do it consistently. That's the real secret. So, why bother with all this? What's the payoff? Well, here it is. This is the so what. When you have a strong professional image, you build credibility. People believe you. That credibility builds trust. People rely on you. And when you have both credibility and trust, well, that's what opens the door to real opportunity. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this final thought. This isn't about a massive overnight transformation. It's about starting somewhere. So just pick one thing. What is the one small, tiny detail you can commit to focusing on tomorrow to start strengthening your professional image? Give it some thought.